guys, it's your girl Shantae, and I am back with another video. So today, in the title, you guys read this story time. So we about to go back. Another story about the past, you know what I mean? So before we get into this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and also subscribe to the channel and click that bell so I show this video whenever I upload. Alright, you guys, so I was young. I was around I would say 16 years old. I met this boy. I fell in love with him. You know, young days when you think that you're in love, when you're really not. It's really just lust. It's just, that's what you think that it is, you know. We were together for like a while. I ended up pregnant with my first child, Joel's. And, you know, me and his father, we kind of lost in touch. He ended up going to jail, so we was like separated and all that. And it was perfectly fine. I wasn't crying about it. It is what it is. Got a job, worked, went to school, did what I had to do. Man, I was by myself for a while. Like I said, I was around 17 years old and I had my son. Now, eventually as I got older, I had my other son, Micah. And I was a single mother of 2 kids. My mother had actually moved in with me. I was 20 years old. Was I 20? No, I was 21 years old actually. My mother had moved in my apartment with me. She actually was helping me out in my apartment wise, you know what I mean? It was really just me and her and my 2 sons, George and Micah. And, you know, I was working, so she would babysit. You know, she would watch Micah for me while I went to work. Jules was in school, so I would put him on the bus and I would walk straight to work. She would be at home with Micah, update me, you know, if he's okay and everything like that, this, that, and the third. Now, like after my 21st birthday, like not a month after, my birthday's in May. So after my son's birthday, like around July-ish, his father had got out of jail, I guess, and he had contacted me on social media, and he wanted to just, you know, reconnect and talk and this, that, and the third. And, you know, in my mind, you know, I'm just like, you know what, maybe this would be a good opportunity for us to have our family or this, that, and the third, you know what I mean? You know, why not just talk to him, let him see his son? You know, because I'm not the type of girl that's going to keep a father away from their child, even if we're not together, you know. Kids need both their parents. I've been through it. I know how it feels. And I wanted my son to know his father. I wouldn't do that. Now, we meet up, we talk, we reconnect or whatever. He brings up, you know, that he misses me. And, you know, he wants to be a family, and he wants to build, and this, that, and the third. So, you know, me thinking in my brain, you know what? I always said I wanted my kids to have the mother and the father in their life. So, you know what? Why not just give it a try? That's what kept replaying in my head. You know, I told him I had to think about it, and that's what kept replaying in my head. So I'm just like, you know what? Why not just give it a try? You know, at one point, I did love this person, so I thought. And I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. So I told him, you know, he came to visit like a couple days later, and I told him yes or whatever. So, you know, like I said, this is my apartment. Okay, guys, right? And I let him move in with me. And so he moves in. And, you know, at first I wasn't really pressuring him to go find a job because he just came home from incarceration. So I knew that it would be difficult to really find a job once you're, you know, I was very lenient in my relationships. Like I was very lenient with him, you know. I knew that it would be hard to find a job, so I was like, you know what, it's all right to stay home or whatever, you know. But I was still working and busting my behind. Now, me working, you know, I'm waking up every single morning. I'm working 5 days out of the week. And I only had the weekends off, really. Like I said, my son was in school, the oldest one. You know, he would be home, whatever. Now, I remember one day his cousin had actually pulled me to the side. Not nothing like that, but he had just pulled me to the side and he was just like, do you really love him? I told him like I do because, like I said, that's what I thought at that moment. And he was like, listen, I'm just going to warn you. I'm not trying to break up your relationship, but I'm just trying to warn you, he's going to show who he really is to you. He's really going to show his true colors, and you're going to see for yourself. But hopefully you don't see for yourself. Hopefully he really changes for you. As time goes on, we're like 3 months in with living with each other, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. Before me and him got together, I was a very happy person for life. I actually started to lose myself. Like, y'all know what I mean. Like, I really did start to lose myself, and I was happy, of course, but I wasn't happy in my relationship-wise, you know what I mean? So, like I said, we were 3 months in with each other. The 4th month, I had to tell him, like, you need to find a job. Like, we're family, and we had to support the kids. Just, you know what I mean? He was being a stepdad, so, to Micah, obviously. And, he was like, okay, supposedly he was going out to look for a job, but he really was not looking for a job. He wasn't. He can say that he was, but, actually, he wasn't looking for a job. I was the only one working. I was the one that was paying bills, making sure that we had food to eat. My mom was still living here, yes, but she was somewhat, like, she would help out me with the cleaning thing. I really did not expect her to clean up because for me, when it comes to cleaning, I clean a certain way. Like, I have OCD, things have to be a certain way. Like, she would know that, but she would, like, cook. Like, she would cook, like, the best meals ever. Like, when I walked through the door, it would just smell so good inside this house when she would cook for me. Sometimes we would cook together and all that. And, yeah, he wasn't really doing nothing. He wasn't trying to clean up. He wasn't helping out. She was the one that was watching Micah for me. You would think that he would at least put jewels on the bus for me, that the fact that I had to go to work. No, he wasn't doing that either. He wasn't doing that. So, yeah. That was like 4 months in. And the 5th month, it was like, I believe, like, it was like kind of when it just started to get to me a lot. And, I sat down and talked to him and told him, like, you really need to find a job. Like, like, you can't just be living off of me. Like, this is not the way that it's going to be. Like, it's 2 of us in this situation, and to top it off, you're the man. Come on. And, like, just what his cousin was saying to me, it just started really clicking in my head. But I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because he was my father. Because he was my child's father. Now, alright, you guys, so, yeah, it was like one day he was taking a shower, he was going to go out with his cousin or whatever. And his phone kept on going off. And I'm telling him, like, your phone's going off. I'm not looking at his phone. I'm not looking. He was writing his phone. Because for me, I just don't really look at, like, my partner's phone. I feel like I don't need to do that. I feel like I don't need to look through my partner's phone because we should have 100% trust in our relationship. And, he had told me just, like, answer the phone for me because it could be my cousin just telling me that he's on his way or something like that. So, I looked at the phone, and it was actually a message from some girl talking about it, if they was going to hang out this, that, and the third. And, I had confronted him, and he was just like, came up with his excuses. And me being dumb, I believed him. And I was like, okay. So I left it, right? Now, 6 months in. 6 months in. Okay. I don't even know where to start at because this is like where this is where it actually ended at. Before he had left with his cousin was like, did he show his true colors yet to you? And I just had gave him a look and just like shook my head because I was becoming very distant with him at this point. Me and him was becoming very distant and we was not really connecting. We was really to him, we were still in a relationship, but to me, it was like we were just co-parenting and living in the same apartment. That's how I felt, honestly. Like, I wasn't connecting with him, and I was starting to actually give up. Like, slowly but surely, I was giving up on the relationship. Now, because, like I said, he still didn't have a job yet. He wasn't looking for a job. I was the only one that was still working at this point in this relationship. Now, he had left with his cousin, and he left his phone here. Now, what I had told you guys before, I could have had all rights to just go through the phone and everything, but I didn't. I just left it. His phone kept on going off and going off when he was out. And I didn't want to touch the phone because I just felt like I shouldn't do that. You know, I don't touch other people's personal properties. Like, that's just the way that I was raised, to not touch anybody's personal items at all. Even though what he did, and I seen it, I could have looked through it, but I was just like, no, don't do that, because you know what? You were probably about to end up breaking up with him anyway. That's what was in my head. Like, and his phone just kept going off and going off. So I had muted, like, I kind of turned the volume all the way down on his phone, and I put it underneath the pillow because I didn't want to hear it going off no more. But then the phone just kept on going off. It kept on vibrating over and over and over and over again. And I was like, you know what? Something inside of me was like, look at that phone now. Like, pick up the phone and look at it. Even if you don't want to, you have to do that. So I picked up the phone and I look at it. And you know, it was a message on the Facebook Messenger, whatever, from another girl who's younger than me. Now, mind you, like I said, I was 21 years old. He was about 24. About 24, yes, okay? This girl was younger than me, not even in her 20s, okay? Now, the messages between them two started to tick me off. But one part of the message that really ticked me off, that I'm going to tell y'all, I'm being 100% honest with y'all about, like, he sat here and told this young little girl that I moved in with him in his apartment. I moved in with him. He's working and busting his behind, and I'm sitting at home on the couch all day long, not doing nothing, while he does everything for me. And that I'm bringing in men in front of his face, flaunting men, and just bringing them around our kids and this, that, and the third. That's what pissed me off. Because number one, you're living inside my house. I took you inside my home. I'm the one that's busting my behind, that's walking to work every single day in the rain, in the sleet, and in the damn snow. Okay? Taking care of our motherfucking kids. How about that? Like, that's what just, excuse my language. Okay. But that's what really took me off. And then he's trying to say that I'm playing him, I'm bringing other men inside the house. I don't have time to be doing none of that. And when I'm in a relationship, it's 100% loyalty and faithfulness with two people, because that's how it should be. You don't need for me to play nobody. Like, that was just so disrespectful to me. Like, the fact that he even said that, you know. And like, the girl messaging, like, you can tell that she kind of didn't believe it, but she was just responding back to him still, regardless. Flirting, y'all doing what y'all doing, talking about meeting up, this, that, and the third. And then in one message, I saw that she had asked him to get her something. He was like, sure, I got you. I don't know where was he getting the money from to even purchase her anything? Number one. That's what I was trying to figure out. That's what my mind was going to. Like, how is he even purchase her anything? And the top of y'all both still talking with each other. Now, I did write the female. And I came up very respectful, because at the end of the day, I was a young adult at this time. And I'm very mature. I'm not going to come at her, because also it's not just her that's writing. He's also approaching her knowing that he's in a full-blown relationship. He's lying to this female, saying that he's not in a relationship. You don't do that. You know what I mean? So you need to take full responsibility. Like, I'm not just going to come at the female. We're not going to do that. I actually did write the female, and she actually wrote me back. And, you know, I just told her, like, you're having a conversation, you know, with my man, basically, and he's telling you all these lies, and basically, like, I came off respectful, y'all. Like, I didn't come off disrespectful to this girl whatsoever. Like I said, she was a teenager. I'm not gonna come off disrespectful to a teenage girl or another girl that is also, she's being played in the same situation as me, basically. Like, she's being played too. If you think about it, you know what I mean? Like, she's young and she doesn't even, like, she doesn't know. I was young and I was dumb and I was in this situation with the same person. Like, so I just talked to her, it was mutual, left it at that. She apologized and everything, like, I'm sorry, I did not mean to, I didn't mean to do this. I didn't know that y'all was in a relationship, and no wonder why he wouldn't ever let me come over to the house. If it was his house, he would have just let me inside the house then. And that's what I was thinking which was a little bit fishy about the situation. Man, at least she somewhat knew, but like, you still was messing around with a man that was taking, that had a kid. Alright. I just left it at that, and the conversation, boom. Now, I was waiting for him to come home so that we can have a talk. But then in the back of my mind, I was thinking, how was he getting money to even purchase anything? Like, it just kept running my mind again. How is he getting money to do this? How is he getting money to do that? And nobody is helping him out. Nobody is. His family really wasn't helping him out at all. Like, they would say that, like, I'm not giving you money to do this. Like, you need to find a job. So, alright guys, before I got into a relationship with him, I'm gonna let you guys know. Like I said, I work 5 days a week. I would get paid every single Friday. And every Friday, I would go to the store and buy something for my children. But also what I would do is, I would take money out and I would put it in my kids' piggy banks. Both of my kids, they both had piggy banks, separate piggy banks. I would put like $20 in their piggy banks or $10, depending on if I'm paying bills this time or I really need something for the home or something. It would be $10 to $20 I would put in their piggy bank every single week to save up for my children, to have, so when they get older, they can buy certain things. We go to the store and they can shop and learn to manage money. That's what I was doing for my children. And so something just clicked in my head and was like, go look at their piggy banks right now. So my eyes starting to twitch now, but I'm about to start to get upset because this is what really like blew it more out of proportion. Like, I looked in their piggy banks, and like I said, I was working way before I met him, and they would have had a lot of money in that piggy bank, all the money that I was saving up. Now, when I looked into the piggy banks, first I looked into the baby's piggy bank, which was Micah. He was a baby at this time. And there was nothing but like 4 quarters and like 2 pennies. Like, I remember exactly how much was left in there. That's all that was left inside the baby's piggy bank. And like, my heart dropped when I seen that, because I put money inside that piggy bank, okay? Their nanny, the one that raised me, she put money in their piggy bank. And I don't touch my kids' piggy bank. Like, I work hard enough where I have money to have for myself if I need be. The money I'm putting away for my kids is for my children, point blank, period. I'm not going to do that. Like, if I had to, if it was in desperate need where I needed to touch that money, I would replace that money and put it right back, point blank, period. Now, I looked into my oldest son's piggy bank, which is his biological child. Literally, you guys, all that was left inside of his piggy bank was about one quarter and a couple of dimes. Like 4 or 5 dimes was left in his piggy bank. Now, Joel's would have had more money than the baby would have had because he was here first, and I was working first when I had Joel's. Like, all that money was gone. And if I could really calculate in my head how much money was in both them damn piggy banks put together, it was about $300 or $400. It could have been more than that. But that's how I had that much money in their piggy banks, okay? That I was saving for my children, okay? As a young parent, me doing that, that's like, and I know that he took it because there's something in me just said, like, how is he coming home with this, that, and the third? You know, you come home with new outfits. How you come home with new outfits? They have tags on it. You're going shopping. You're not even buying nothing for anybody inside the home whatsoever. His cousin did warn me, though. His cousin did warn me, but I had to learn myself. And I honestly, I didn't tell nobody about that situation, about him taking the money from the kids' piggy banks. I didn't say nothing. I kept it to myself, and I was gonna approach it myself. But instead, I just had it. Like I had it. Like, I'm the type of person, I underreact to certain situations, and so when I react to a situation, I will overly react. And for me, it wasn't the fact that, oh, you was talking to another female and lying on me. It was the fact that now you done mess with my children. You done mess with my kids, okay? That right there, it didn't even bring me to 100. It brought me all the way to a million, a zillion, a trillion, whatever number, the highest number that there is. That's how red I was. That's all I seen was red. So what I did was I called my cousin up. My little cousin, she's actually like my little sister. I called her up. She lives in the same like complex as I do. So as soon as I called her and I was like, you know, I need your help with something right now. Can you please come over if you're not busy? And she was like, yeah, I got you. She was over at my apartment within like 2 seconds. Like, she like ran over here. She was over here and she was like, okay, so what we doing? We're packing the bags. I'm not just throwing his stuff out the window, being that person. No, I folded his stuff up, put it in the garbage bags, and I put them on the porch. Yes, I did. That's where his stuff went. Now, and also the book bag that he came to my house with, that's the only item that he had when he came into my house, I put that on the porch too, with the damn phone as well. So all that stuff was on the porch. And, you know, somebody that actually knew actually walked past him was like, oh, so somebody's moving out today. And I just had just looked. And I was like, yep. And that's it. And I turned and I walked inside the house, closed my door, locked my door, and called it a day. And then it did start raining outside. And me, I didn't care that it started raining outside whatsoever. I didn't feel bad. I didn't think, oh, let me move the bags up on the porch so that the clothes don't get wet. No, I didn't care that the clothes got wet. I did not care, not one damn bit. Okay? So them clothes was getting wet, the phone was wet, whatever. Don't care. And, yeah. I was sitting in my room with my cousin and my mom, and the kids, they were playing in their room. And you know me, like, I'm not really much of a drinker. Like, the only drink that I'll really drink is wine. So, you know, I had my wine to just like relax myself. Like, I wasn't crying that I was letting him go. I didn't care. Like, that's how you know that it was like just getting bad, because I didn't even tear up, not one bit, that I was letting this person go out of my life. Like, I didn't care whatsoever, you know. And honestly, after that situation, my oldest son, she was like 4, and he just came to me, he hugged me, he was like, you know, Mommy, I want you to be happy. That's all I want. Straight out of a 4-year-old's mouth. And like, he just looked at me, and he just smiled at me, and he gave me the biggest hug, and I gave him the biggest kiss on his forehead and on his cheek, and I was just like, I know, baby, we're gonna be just fine, I promise you that. And we were just fine. And my 4-year-old told me that it was time to let this person go. Like, my 4-year-old shouldn't have to say that. Like, he seen that I wasn't happy. Like, he seen that I wasn't really myself. I was happy with my kids, yes, but I wasn't happy really within, and I wasn't at peace. But anyways, y'all, I was sitting at my window like I'm sitting now. I was sitting at my window, and my cousin and my mom was in my room. Like I said, we had a little drink of wine or whatever, and I seen him walking. And like, you know, I really honestly really didn't care. I had my windows actually open too, and I saw his face when he actually came up by my porch, and his face just looked like such disbelief. And I heard him, like I said, my window was open, talking to his cousin, and he was just like, I can't believe she did this, like what did I do wrong? And then I just heard his cousin just go, I told you, you can't play everybody. You can't be doing that to everybody. Some people won't take it, like, at all. So you done messed with the right one this time. Where you gonna go now? Like, you know, and yeah, that was the end of us after that. Like, after that, he wasn't trying to reach out to see his child. He wasn't reaching out, like I said, he wasn't trying to reach out to see his child whatsoever. He was just trying to apologize to me and trying to win his way back inside my heart, and that was not happening. Yeah, so honestly, like in that relationship that I was in at that point in my life, like I said, I lost myself. I wasn't really happy. Like, you know, like, and honestly, to be completely honest with you guys, at that point in my life, I didn't truly love myself. I really didn't. You know, I was searching for love in the wrong place. And at that point in my life, I should have really just been trying to grow in myself, wise, you know what I mean? Like, of course, I was being a good mother and all that, but I just wasn't loving myself. And you know, I got into a wrong relationship, and I wish that I didn't, but I had to live and I had to learn. I'm glad that I learned pretty fast, and I wasn't living with him for like 2 to 3 years before I found this out, you know. But we all make mistakes, and sometimes mistakes will keep repeating themselves until you learn from your mistake. And I learned, and you know what? I'm glad that I learned, because after being with him, like I said, I lost myself. I had to find myself, and I did not, I wasn't in a relationship for a while after I ended it off with this person. Like, I stayed single for at least 4 to 5 years. I stayed single, and I remember I had actually prayed to God, and I was, you know, I was apologizing to God, and I was just like, I'm sorry, God, that I'm looking for love in the wrong place, that I don't truly know who I am, that I truly don't love myself like how everybody else loves me. Like, I had said a whole bunch of things, and I also was just like, you know, I promise that I'm not going to be in another relationship until I know that it's real. I'm not going to search for love. I'm going to wait until you put the right person in my pathway. And that's when I'm going to know that it is real. And I meant that. Like, I meant that so much, you guys. Like, so I stayed single. Stayed to myself. Just worked, busted my behind, took care of my children. All I did. And when I tell you guys, like, that time, me being by myself, I started to love myself again. I found myself, and I felt so good. Like, I felt so happy. Like, and I just, like, you know, I didn't think that I was going to find anybody. I was just happy that I found myself, and that, like, I felt free. Like, a burden was lifted off my shoulders. Like, I was just happy and at peace, finally, you know. And then that's when I actually met the person that I'm with now, and we are 8 years in together, you know. And the way that me and him met, it was just like, it was weird, of course. You know, he was actually my cousin's friend, and I remember I was walking with my kids. It was me and my mom, and we was walking with my kids to go to the store, letting them pick out a toy and stuff like that. And I also had to like get diapers for Micah and stuff. So, you know, yeah. And you know, I just seen my cousin. I gave him a hug, and he was like, "I'll see you later," or whatever. And he had his friend with him. He introduced me to his friend, and I don't know, but for some reason, like I never believed in love at first sight. But when I tell y'all, like the way that he had looked at me, and I had looked at him, and then when we shook each other's hand, it was just like there was just like a chemistry there. It was like a chemistry, like I knew him for like a long time, and like I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it to you guys, but it was just like really weird. But yeah, and then like after that, me and him were just talking and just communicating, and it was like God put him in my path because God knew that I was ready to meet the right person. And look at us now. You know, I'm with a wonderful person now. You know, it's not the perfect relationship. No relationship is perfect. You always get into arguments. But all I can say is that I know that I am loved. I am truly loved. So I'm really grateful for that, you know. I just had to find myself and I had to love myself to get into this place that I am today. You know, he's a wonderful stepfather. And then we ended up having, you know, as you can see, look at, we just had babies. You know? And I look forward to the future with him. Like I said, 8 years in, we ain't going nowhere. So, if you is watching this, just so you know, we in this together forever. Alright. Y'all will see him eventually in a video or two. Something. You know what I mean? Maybe the birthing video. I don't know. But, yes. That's it for now, you guys. Alright, you guys. So, this is the end of the video. Yes, going down memory lane is just like, this really happened to me, yes. But, we all have been there once in our life, or we all have done it. Okay? So, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope you guys have a blessed, lovely day. And enjoy your family, spend all the time that you can with them. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please just give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have ever went through this or anything like that. You know, and also subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you don't miss a video whenever I upload, because I have a lot more story times to share with y'all. Okay? Alright? One story time might be emotional that I do talk about, so don't judge me if I cry in that video. Okay? If you see a little tear or two in that video, just know that it was just hard for me to talk about it, but I see you guys as family now, so I don't mind sharing that part of my life with you guys whatsoever. So, yes, and you guys already know, I'm not going to be posting videos like I normally used to, just because baby's about to be born soon, and I need my rest. Alright, so I love you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. And again, you guys stay safe out there, stay beautiful, keep your heads up high, keep pushing for the stars, and wear your mask.